Have you gone to the doctor recently because of pain throughout your body for which there seems to be no relief? Introducing Dr. Anthony Pinozzo. The Dr. Pinozzo Sports and Medicine Hour will bring you a new technique to resolve painful issues throughout the body. Dr. Pinozzo has worked with over 65,000 patients over 40 years and has developed a revolutionary approach to pain treatment. His treatment allows fast and effective treatment of pain without narcotics, surgery, and physical therapy. There is no manipulation or alternative approaches. Weight bearing and the return of normal range of motion without pain is the best kept secret this man has to deliver. So get ready to call in and ask all of your painful questions and get the answers you've been looking for. Now, here's today's edition of Dr. Pinozzo's Sports and Medicine Hour.
Good morning, everybody, and for all those moms out there, happy and healthy Mother's Day. Hello, Freddie. Hello, Linda, and hello, Dr. Pinozzo.
Good afternoon. How are you?
We have gotten so many calls and so many texts and so many tweets. So the one thing that everybody was crazy about last week was about scoliosis and about migraines and about knee injuries. So, Doc, what's all this thing now that's going on with this Botox for migraines?
Well, Botox should never be used for migraine. A migraine is, unless you have a structure that produces a pain. Remember, a headache is only a symptom. It's a pain. It can come from anywhere. Now, everybody knows about sciatica, right? Your lower back produces a leg pain. Well, that's the same thing with headache. There is no, if you don't get a location to treat, then that shouldn't be used. Anyway, it's muscle, and the headache is all from ligament. So it's a different tissue altogether.
Wow.
Now, if you listen to the ads for that, I saw an ad last night on that. They tell you need it in 3 months again. Well, that's no cure to me. I mean, you shouldn't have to have it again. I mean, you have it once and that's it. But no, I wouldn't do that, and I have good reason for it because we know where headache comes from. It's all from the neck, and that's the bottom line. That's it. So if you know how to examine the neck, then you can tell. We do a special film for that also, by the way.
Talk about that special film. So people who haven't heard the show yet, I want them tell me a little about that.
Well, it's a special film that tells me we don't do a side view. We do an AP view. Mm-hmm. And what it does is tells me about the curvature.
Wow. Amazing.
And from that, you have to know some things about the anatomy and physiology, and then you can, first of all, we know where the headache is from before we take the film. So that's only the guide. That is not a diagnostic thing.
Well, what's amazing is that what you just said is every 3 months, so you're never curing the pain. It's like a placebo.
It's just like drugs that we take for a headache, so-called headache. What is that?
And you don't give drugs.
No, we don't give it.
Well, tell me about that success, because a lot of people might just be tuning in.
Well, it's 100% success.
Wow.
And what we do is outline all the areas in the neck that produce headache. And then we get the worst one by examination. We work with the patient, say, is this worse or is this worse? And that's the one that gets shot. And these are a small amount of steroids that softens ligaments. And it gives you the range of motion back without the pain, though. See, and those are good, and they last forever.
Tell the people what happened about this young man that came in that day that I was sitting in the office with such pain in his head. He was with his mother, and his mother said, "Please, God, let this work."
Yeah. Well, we took that migraine out. He had two pains. If you recall, he had two pains there. One was TMJ, which clouded the issue. So they thought it was all a headache, but it wasn't. TMJ does this pain right here.
TMJ, what, all the dentists are giving that $3,000
I
mouthpiece?
mean, it's so ridiculous. And even though I explain it to the dentists, they still don't refer those people over.
It's $3,000.
It's a one-day treatment.
Right.
That's all it is. And we figured it out, and it is just a one-day treatment. So if you have TMJ, don't go to the dentist for that. They're not able to diagnose that. We diagnose it and treat it the same day. You walk out there without a pain.
So in other words, when someone comes in for a migraine,
so help me.
And you know what? We just want everyone to know that this is an educational show. You know, Dr. Pinozzo wants to educate the public so they know that there are alternatives to not having to get surgery.
Now, talking about the inserts,
Oh, yes, that's good. Okay.
They actually cause more problems because if you wear those the way it's designed all night, your ligament structure will stiffen up.
How do you wear that all night and sleep?
Well, you can't. I mean, the whole thing is bizarre. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I just don't understand it.
So some dentists came up with a great thing to put in your mouth and cure but it doesn't actually cure the TMJ.
It doesn't cure anything. It just makes you stiffer.
Wow, wow, wow. That's so amazing.
Yeah, it is, and we make a study of all these things we talk about. I mean, I'm not just coming out of the literature.
And you
No,
challenge
we actually
anyone.
do. Absolutely.
We challenge everyone about what Dr. Pinoza does. If you want to talk to Dr. Pinoza on the line today, folks, you can give him a call at 877-927-6969, and he will discuss whatever it is that you have a problem with, and he'll let you know whether or not you should come in and see him. Right, Doc?
That's right.
Now let's get back to something that was so important last week that we couldn't even take all the calls. For those of us that are just tuning in, I just want to talk about something called scoliosis, and we've actually seen patients that have been cured from scoliosis. And I think what a lot of people don't understand is they think you cannot cure scoliosis. Talk to me about that.
Scoliosis is just another syndrome. You can cure it. It's easy to do if you understand a couple of things about it. Remember, it's all knowledge. You have to have the knowledge to do it. I mean, I can't go to the moon, but somebody else can. It's easy for them.
Right.
You know, I just don't have that kind of knowledge.
Right.
That's how you have to look at these things. Medical knowledge is hard to find, and you have to look a lot, and you have to analyze things. And the scoliosis is just a curvature, and it's done mostly by injury, falls. And when you fall, your backbone gets displaced a little bit, one of the vertebrae. After that, it's a curve, and that's scoliosis. That's
So it's not
all
genetic?
it is. No, it can't be genetic. You could have a gene for blue eyes, but not for curvature of the spine. You cannot.
So talk to me about this lady that we met from England that came in.
Oh, wasn't that fascinating?
Oh my gosh! And you'll be able to see that pretty soon on Pinozo.tv.
Yeah.
Our producer is working on it, and we should have that on in about a week. And if you don't believe what Dr. Pinozo is saying, my God, you got to go to Pinozo.tv and watch this. Tell us about how this lady came to you from England, of all places.
Yeah, London.
Yeah.
Where the big hospitals are.
And what she was told.
They wouldn't do anything for her. They wanted to, well, she's, 69, I think.
Yeah, I think, 69.
Anyway, they wanted to put rods in or nothing. So
Wow.
she said
I know.
nothing, and she's very smart. She's a dietitian. Anyway, her son brought her over, and she was only here a week, but she came in with certain pains, which we took out the first day.
I know. She told me.
All that pain left the first day that they were treating forever over there. They just, hey, take advantage of it. I'm telling you all these things, and they are true. So over the next couple of days, we decreased her scoliosis by half, and she's coming back, I think a couple of months,
Right.
6 months, where we're going to finish the job up. I don't know if you noticed this. Did you notice that she grew?
Yeah.
She grew a couple of inches because I took the curves out.
It's amazing. I know my producer was then. He called me right up and said, "Les, this is unfreaking believable." That's not exactly the word he used, but since we're on the radio, that's the word we're going to use. 877-927-6969. And I think what was so amazing is we saw this on the X-rays when you first saw it. I mean, that's totally blew our mind away.
Well, the special film we do is
Right.
actually an engineering study. And it kind of gives me a hint on where we have to go.
Okay. So, okay, now we got everybody. So, Freddie.
Yeah, the amazing thing that I saw was that he actually reduced the size of the curvature on her back.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
People know that it's like a hump. It just sticks out. Yeah, and it got reduced. Yeah.
And he showed me the films from the beginning to the end.
And we're going to be able to see that on Pinozo.tv. Great.
What was amazing there is I have that machine, the fluoroscope, and
Right.
it stores images. So I had Freddie in there, and I said, here's the image before of this bone structure curved.
Right.
And then I showed him in 5 minutes what happened to it. It actually turned right in front of his eyes.
And I thought it was
Couldn't
gonna
believe it.
reverse
Really?
I said, Doc, this is the same person. The back is different. And he shows me the dark areas that he attacked. And it went from being a turn this way to like this. It was almost straight.
Oh, that's
But
amazing.
Yeah,
That is
in
absolutely-
2-dimension, it turned maybe an inch or 3/4 of an inch. The bone structure actually turned. That's why the hump went down.
So you were amazed, weren't you?
It's not only the physical aspect that he helped her work, it's mentally how she
Yeah.
changed. I didn't even recognize her.
She
I
was
walked in, she was all made up. She looked beautiful. Linda recognized her.
Right.
I walked right by her.
amazing.
It was an unbelievable experience.
And she spoke about this, that she could believe one of the biggest hospitals in England. And she came down here as a recommendation of her son, who you've cured also with knee problems and back problems. I mean, folks, if your doctor tells you that you cannot cure scoliosis, before you listen, I implore you to give Dr. Pinozzo a call at his office after the show is over at 561-381-5800, or if you want to talk to Dr. Pinozzo now, it's 877-927-6969. I'm sorry, Doctor.
Yeah, see, I did the basic research on that.
Okay.
We know why it's curved and what holds it that way. Now, if you don't know that part of it, the physiology of, I call it physiology of pain production, which you can find in my book.
Yes, please.
I'm a huckster now.
No, he's not a huckster, because this is a book that's educational.
Yeah, it's all education.
I mean, you know.
That's why I wrote that book, is to educate people so they don't waste their time and money trying to get treated. I said, I give a little physiology of why their symptoms are there and what they should do about it. Well, for instance, if you're going to a chiropractor for a year, what did you gain? You should know that in the first week if they can help you or not.
Chiropractors,
Yeah, but
aren't they massage parlors? Oh, I'm sorry, I should have said that. I apologize, everyone.
No, but see, it's how you look at things.
Right.
They're not that complicated if you can look at them properly. Anyway, we were talking about the.
I think I have somebody on the phone. It's Troy. Here we go, Troy. Hey, Troy.
Hey, Dr. Pinozzo, how you been doing?
Good. How are you?
You treated my back pain, man. You remember me, number 23 of the Dolphins.
You talk a little louder. We can't hear you.
There's something wrong.
Joyce Stratford, number 23 of the Dolphins, man. You treated me, remember?
Hey, Troy, how you doing, buddy?
Oh,
Troy Stratford. Thank
Troy
you.
Good, man.
Stratford, yeah,
Everything is-
yeah.
Oh,
How
man,
are
this
you?
man, you saved my life, man. I was bent up, bent over. I couldn't walk. It hurt everywhere, remember?
Yeah, I do.
Man, you really helped me a lot. Thanks,
Who's-
Dr. Pinozzo.
Thanks, Troy. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Have a great Mother's Day.
All right, Troy. Thanks.
That was Troy Stratford, ex-Miami Dolphins player who you treated for quite a while.
It's a shame because he retired because of the.
Yeah.
He couldn't handle the back pain
No,
anymore.
when he got hit, he was in such pain.
And after the one day in my office, he could have gone played again,
He said that.
but he didn't.
That's amazing.
How long ago was that?
I think that was 2 years ago, maybe.
Really?
Unbelievable. It's amazing. I mean, it's just.
There was another one, a Dolphin who had to retire because of that, and he lost a huge amount of money.
Was that Cleveland?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One more year would have given him a lot more money, and it's a shame because he was good at it.
And what was he going to give you if he had one more year? Remember that?
Ferrari.
Ferrari. Well, if you make like $11, $12 million, Freddie, what's a Ferrari if he can play another year in pro football?
Yeah.
You were talking about scoliosis, and when a call comes in, I'd like you to take
Yeah,
it. So
right.
I'll continue your thought. You were talking about
Now,
the research.
What's out there for treatment for scoliosis is not what we do. We
Right.
don't do anything that's out there. This is all new stuff. It all comes from the research. Now, if you go to other places, non-physicians, not physicians, but other places, they're not going to know what causes these things, and they're not going to be able to treat it.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, try it if you want. But I've been through all this for many years, let me tell you. And so you can try those things, but don't try them too long.
Right.
If you don't get results rather quickly, then you have to leave, because otherwise you're sacrificing yourself for what?
Yeah, why be in
Don't do it.
pain?
Don't do it.
Well, since I got our producer Freddie, his girlfriend is very happy that he grew. What'd you grow? An inch after you saw Dr. Pinozzo?
Yeah.
Inch and a half. My gosh, what happened?
I straightened out my hips.
Well, what you remember what? I remember when I brought you in there. You said, "Nah, he can't. This ain't going to work, Wes." What happened?
Well, it's been more of an adventure every week.
Yeah.
This week, it was the top. With the daughter and the kids, the whole segment you guys are going to do on children, it's unbelievable.
Well, yeah, we are going to do one on children, which I think it's. I'm looking at the clock, guys. I think we have to take a break. We'll be right back. So everyone, think about your questions, and when we get back, you call Dr. Pinozzo at 877-927-6969. Tell him, Doc, call in and get some free medical advice.
Call in. You got to excite my mind. Call in anything.
So we're going to take a break right.
Have you ever had a business idea that you thought would be a great solution to tough challenges in today's world but have no idea of how to get started? You don't want to waste investment money on ideas that just don't work. Introducing Health and Wealth Seminars, a sophisticated advertising agency with over 40 years in the ad business. What makes Health and Wealth different from other agencies is that they fit your product into the public's need. They help put together the strategy of your business before you commit thousands of dollars just to find out that those ideas don't work. Health and Wealth Seminars carries advertising contracts, radio and television contracts, and even a production service contract that will cover all of your business needs. Call today, 954-303-9563, and let Health and Wealth Seminars carry your business to the next level. The number is 954-303-9563. And remember that what happens when you don't advertise is nothing. 954-303-9563 is the number you need to get your business started in the right direction. You're listening to Dr. Pinozzo's Sports and Medicine Hour with Dr. Anthony Pinozzo. If you have constant pain and want to talk about how to get rid of it without surgery or medication, or simply want a second opinion, call Dr. Pinozzo now at 1-877-927-6969 to get your pain issues resolved. And now, more of Dr. Pinozzo's Sports and Medicine Hour.
We are back with Dr. Pinozzo. 877-927-6969. And there's something else that my producer had the pleasure of seeing. A 15-year-old child came in to see you. Tell us about that, Doc.
She was less than 15 when I saw her, though.
Really?
She was like 13 or 14.
You were surprised, weren't you, Freddie? Oh, hold it, guys. I'm sorry. I think we have another call coming in, and I don't want to not take this call. So let me. Hello? 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 I know you're on hold, so I don't know why I can't read that. Hold on. Let me read your name so I can give you to Dr. Pinozzo.
Lucia.
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 Hi, Lucia. Welcome to Dr. Pinozzo. What seems to be your problem?
Hello, Lucia.
Hi, Dr. Pinozzo. This is Lucia. You treated me for a back problem, lower back problem.
Wow.
And I'm actually doing really well. This is my second week now after treatment. But what I wanted to ask the doctor is now so many people are noticing how well I'm doing that now they're interested in seeing Dr. Pinozzo as well, one of which is my mother. But I'm wondering whether she's a candidate to get helped by him or not. She has a lot of knee pain.
Well, we don't talk about candidates. Every knee is treatable. So, yeah, we figured it out. There are several areas to treat. And you have to, we'll just ask her when the knee hurts her. And that tells me which part of the knee is painful, and then we'll treat that directly. Yeah, she'll have an improvement right away.
Okay, great. Then I will definitely have her make an appointment and come in. But I'm listening to your show for the first time, and I'm glad I'm listening.
Oh, great.
Good.
Hey, thanks for calling. I really appreciate that. And thanks for seeing Dr. Pinozzo and giving that great thing that you said about him. I'm happy you're feeling better.
Thank you. I am.
And happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, that's nice, Doc. We have people calling in now and doing recommendations on the phone, so I love it. So let's go back to that 15-year-old girl who you saw, and I know Freddie was there also, taking pictures of her.
I believe she was trying to be a dancer.
Okay.
She wanted to dance and couldn't do it because she had a couple of pains there. So She had a scoliosis too. And we straightened it out, and it took 2 visits, I believe, and she's been dancing ever since. That's a couple of years now.
That's
And
amazing.
she's 15 now. Yeah, that was unexpected, wasn't it?
But the amazing part is that when she came in with the knee problem, being at 14 years of age, you did not inject anything. You worked out the problem physically
Yes.
with doing different things. That she was scared to death when she first met you, and
Yeah.
then you worked out her problems without the medicine, and then she came back for the shoulder.
Yeah, you could always do a shot, like you could always do a surgery. You don't have to do it right now. You can always do it next year or weeks from now. So you ought to try everything else besides that. So what we did with her, because the tissues are so nice,
Right.
young and stretchable, why she adjusted very well to the other approaches we use.
It's a shame that youth is always wasted on the young, right?
Like I always say, whenever I feel depressed about getting old, I say, well, everybody's 16 one day in their life, and only one day.
Getting old isn't for sissies anymore, right?
No.
Well, we got a bunch of tweets that just came in. So, Doc, I just want to read a couple, and I know you'll answer it the way you always do. This is from a gentleman, Paul from Miami. How many visits does a bad knee take to heal? They say I have a torn meniscus. Surgery, the only way to fix it? With a question mark.
We don't believe in surgery for torn meniscus.
Okay, explain why.
Well, first of all, meniscus is a flat cartilage. You
Okay.
can't hurt that very much. And it's not sticking up that it break off. It doesn't do that. It's flat. It only moves very little inside there. And it's not painful. So
Okay.
all the pain is on the outside. There's a ligament structure on the outside that holds the bones together. That's where the pain is. And it's easily treated. You just palpate it around, put a little shot in it, it's gone just like that.
And no surgery and no drugs
surgery,
afterwards.
No, you don't have to go inside the knee at all for
Amazing.
anything.
It's amazing, absolutely amazing. And we've seen this. I mean, we've actually seen this, and there's proof.
And what happens is they take a piece of cartilage off, which deteriorates the knee. So in 10 years, you got so much pain you can't walk.
That's amazing.
It's not to be done, ever. No way that you operate for torn meniscus. There's no such thing.
Let me see how your memory is. Remember the guy that came in? I brought in. He had surgery on one knee, and I told him don't get the other surgery on the other knee until you see Dr. Pinozo. Remember what happened? He's walking now better on the knee that you gave him the shots for the 3 times than he did after the surgery.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I mean,
Well, they take the kney out.
yeah. I mean,
90% of these knees that are being thrown away are normal.
over what was it now? I think it was over 33 million knees surgeries have been performed over the last couple of years.
It's a tragic situation. Nobody looks at the knee. They just replace them. I think it's terrible.
Well, we just got something from Facebook, Doc, in chat box. I've been told I need a knee operation. If this procedure is better and cheaper, why do they order surgery? This is Sal from Boca. That's a great question, Sal.
Well, because you go to a surgeon and that's what they do. What am I going to tell you?
No, I agree with you.
If you don't want to get a surgery, don't go to the surgeon. That's what I got to tell you.
Okay. Okay, we seem to be getting so many calls from. We're on Facebook now, so you can always see Dr. Pinoza. I mean, it's amazing, people, that you're all writing in these things.
I'm trying to educate people.
Right, that's what we want
A
to do.
lot of times it's not what you hear or what your friends tell you.
Mm-hmm.
You have to investigate it yourself. This is why this show's on there. I'm giving you an alternative. I'm giving you non-surgical treatment.
So make your second make your second opinion your first by calling Dr. Pinozo.
That's very good.
Yeah. I mean, your second opinion should be your first. And you know what? The show is over at 12 o'clock, and you can call Dr. Pinozo at his office at 561-381-5800. Doc, give the address. Alicia wants your phone number. She just Facebooked us, and your address. Alicia, he's going to give it to you right now.
It's 16244 Military Trail
In Delray.
in Delray, just south of Linton Boulevard.
And his number at his office is 561-381-5800. And when you call, you're going to be very surprised. Why are they going to be surprised, Doc? Because you answer the phone.
I answer the phone.
Now, why do you answer the phone? A lot of people ask me, why does he answer the phone?
Well, because it's a profession. This is what I do.
Okay.
And people feel comfortable talking. I can tell them whether I can help them or not. Sometimes if they're having a lot of trouble, I bring them in early and I just work harder. If they can wait, then we will have them wait. We check their insurance. Sometimes, I don't know all the insurances, but
Well,
my...
So you give out the phone number.
we can't give out the phone number to Dr. Pinozzo. If you heard me, could you call Dr. Pinozzo
that's my...
at 12 o'clock?
yeah, that's my office. I'll call it later.
And Doc will call you back.
Yeah.
Doc, someone just Facebooked on chatbox. They said, so children can get help for pain. What age can they get help for, and does it work on children? So I don't know what their pain is. So
I've treated 1-year-olds.
Unbelievable.
You have to be able to examine for it, of course, and know what you're treating. And usually they come out very, very well.
So we seem to be getting a lot of people tuning into the show, which is very good. Take me through a procedure that happened to a very well-known talk show personality who's going to be joining us one day at the PGA, who came in the day before she was going to her podiatrist with terrible ankle pain.
Right.
Take me through that procedure so people understand what it is you do.
Well, the ankle pain was there for a long time.
About 6 months, almost 6 months, she was suffering until
And
she.
so I watched her walk in, which your examination starts in the waiting room. I watch how you get up and walk in. And so every minute you're in my office, I'm working.
Right. I know.
I
I've
may
been there.
not look it, but I am.
I've been there.
Anyway, when she was walking in, I knew there was no ankle pain there. And that pain had to be referred, and it had to come from the back. And so we found it, treated it, walked out with no pain at all.
So now, what's your guarantee, Doc? They don't leave your office?
Can't leave the office with the same pain you walked in with.
Okay, now, come on. How many docs out there, Fred? You know any doctors out there that would say that to you? No.
But I really mean it.
No, I know.
You
I know.
cannot leave the office. I mean, I have a bodyguard over there. No,
Yeah, we got this big guy with a gun and says you can't leave until you're feeling good.
But I'll have you wait, and we'll go back over it again.
So give Doc a call today. He's in a good mood today. He's feeling good. He's looking good. He had a cup of coffee. 877-927-6969. My God, folks, they told you call me after 12 o'clock. Here's another thing that came in from Chatbox, Doc. I had a severe back pain almost when I was young. My back has a huge twist now. Is this the reason I have scoliosis? And how do you repair it? Well, I hope you were listening to the show. I guess you're going to have to repeat it, Doc. He probably...
Well, he's got to understand that there was an injury to the ligament in the bone structure of the vertebrae. Now, how you adjust for that, remember, your brain tells you your head has to be in the middle. You have to look straight up. You can't walk around like this. Say that your body will not let you do that.
Right.
So the curvature is an adjustment to the pain that you had and the displacement of the bone, so that it'll be here. Now it's got to correct itself so it goes up there. So that's why you have a bulge. But that's easily fixed. I know how to do it. We worked it out. We did the research.
Amazing, amazing.
And I saw it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, we just talked
I saw
about
right
it.
in front of me.
Yeah.
I wasn't there that day, so my producer came in and spoke about this. He was totally amazed, and I can't wait for this thing to be done so you can go to Pinozzo TV and watch this. He's going to show X-ray. You're going to see exactly how this it's not a disease. It's this symptom happens.
It's a condition. And it's all, I'll teach anybody how to do it. There's 6 or 7 billion people in the world. I can only treat a few hundred of them.
Yeah, that's why we got to get some doctors under you to help the masses.
So if somebody wants to be able to do this, they need a fluoroscope, though.
Right.
But I'll teach them how. It's a Pinozzo technique.
Yeah, and the only other person that knows how to do this is your son. He's got a bunch of offices up in Arizona.
And I've been worried about him lately. No, I'm just kidding.
We always worry about our kids, no matter what. I want to talk about. Before I ask this question, I want to talk about the people that give physicals to these young kids that are going to play ball.
Yes.
It doesn't seem that they understand. They're not doctors. They're they're just ordinary people that just kind of studied something and they.
Well, they could be general practitioners or
Okay.
chiropractors
All right.
or nurses. But you have to understand how to produce a pain. That my examinations always produce a pain, or not.
Mm-hmm.
But it's intended to produce a pain because we have to know what to treat, if anything. So we pick up a lot of problems in the age group that way, and especially if they have to perform. You can't perform with the pain.
No, that's
There's
true.
no way you can do it. Your body will just shut down. You're not going to hurt yourself, right? So that's what the body does. Tells you, I'm not hurting myself, and you don't perform right. But we can pick these things up, and I'll tell you a good example that I had a nursing home business
Okay.
I designed and had built. It was unique. It was very good. Anyway, I examined everybody myself that was hired. And you know, there's a lot of lifting in there, a lot of things. Nurses,
Wouldn't expect
orderlies,
anything less from you.
Everybody gets hurt. Anyway, we knew who to hire, and if you had a pain, you would not be hired unless you guaranteed that you would not claim that pain on my insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And they worked out really good. A lot of respect from those that I hired because they needed a job and they weren't, and it was honest.
Yeah.
And so we can pick up these things before you get hired. Now, there's NFL. We talked about that. They're hiring people with a pain. And then they were on the bench. How can you pay somebody $20 million a year and he loses half the... I don't get it. It's bad management is what it is.
Well, we also have here an ex-coach that could talk. Oh, we keep getting. My God, folks, you could call up. We have another one from Leela. She was a former patient. Doctor, have you even seen someone who has pain which is associated with menopause and headaches?
No, menopause does not cause anything.
Okay.
It is a name we put on for sluggishness, where hormones decrease, and they're trying to say men have that also. I don't know. It doesn't produce a pain.
It's called menopause.
It's called menopause.
That's what men have, right? Menopause.
Yeah, it's very good. But remember, all headaches are from the neck. None of them are from chemical imbalance.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
So, folks, if you want to actually discuss this with Dr. Pinozzo, we're going to take a break right now, and we're going to come back. So let me give you the number so you can sit there and figure out what it is. I know it's Mother's Day, but, you know, moms, you might have pain too.
Moms get hurt. Yeah.
Yes, they do. 877-927-6969, and we'll be right back. Thank you so much.
Please welcome a new sponsor to the show. It's AMP2 TV, the first and only internet network that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet television production company, discover AMP2 TV, a full-service production company that can provide all streaming videos in studio or remotely. They offer web page development, and they use all the latest platforms to help make your business selling points more powerful. They can do remotes and live streaming, as well as tape productions. Let AMP2 TV handle all of your television production needs. Choose from a variety of creative TV and radio packages and see why AMP2 TV works with many major companies, including Comcast, Bravo, and Fox 29, as well as individuals and businesses of all types and sizes. To see samples of their work or to find out more, visit their website at amp2.tv. That's AMP2.tv. Or call them at 1-866-224-5422. That's 866-224-5422.
Pain is the body's way of telling you something is wrong. Surgery can do more harm than good. Pills can become addictive. Dr. Pinozzo uses engineer concepts and weight-bearing physics to resolve this pain and get you greater range of motion. Call today to resolve all those old excuses the medical profession has given you up to now. Call 1-877-927-6969. And now, let's get back to today's show.
Hey, everybody, we're back again. And, you know, I got my producer, who's a pretty smart guy, said, you know what? Why don't you give a gift to your mom? It might be a little late. Come in and get her fixed. Dr. Pinozzo will take care of her, won't you, Doc?
I will.
So now getting back to what we talked about, physicals. A coach, Ron, from Boca Raton says, there was a survey that asked if my boys had a physical taken before playing football at an early age. They had a normal physical. I guess normal is kind of facetious, right? Now my boys have back pain, and they're in high school. I want more information on your procedure, kind of prevent injury in children and in sports?
You cannot prevent injuries. If that was true, the NFL would not have injuries.
Right.
You can't predict how you're going to get hurt because you do all kinds of things. But you can get the injury treated quickly, and therefore not a problem. Now, I just had a patient of mine fell on the wrist, and it was just last week, and they put a brace on.
Yeah.
We don't like that.
No, you told me about that.
Because braces cause movement to decrease. And when you do that, you get scar tissue because of the injured ligament. So what we did was we brought her in, looked at her under fluoroscope. No fracture was seen. And by the way, the image on a fluoroscope is like 5 times bigger. You can't miss anything. Anyway, so we found out where the ligament was, gave her a shot in there. She was moving that wrist like this before she left the office.
Really?
Yeah, that's the way we approach it. You get rid of the pain right away so you don't get all these side effects like Freddie was describing. You cannot wait for that. You don't want to wait for that. Wearing a cast for 6 months for a wrist injury, no way.
You know, for years, the bodybuilders used to wear those belts around their waist, and they found out that was the worst thing out because they weren't able to strengthen up their back.
You can't treat that way. You know who's using it still yet is Walmart.
Yeah.
I mean, they're walking around with these things that are unbuckled in the front. They're just, I mean, they're not. These things don't help anything. We don't prescribe braces at all.
Well, we got another call from Keith. Hey, Keith.
Hello?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, thank you. Dr. Spinozo, my name is Keith, and I'm a gentleman that's over 50 years old. I've worked physically all my life. I've been diagnosed with 5 herniated discs. And
could you repeat that, Keith? I'm sorry, we didn't hear that. Could you repeat what you had?
Enough. We can't hear it.
Yes, I've been diagnosed with 5 herniated discs. I'm a gentleman that's over 50 years old. And
5 herniated
Five
discs.
herniated discs.
Whoa.
Well, I would disregard that. That's obviously from a MRI, and you cannot use an MRI to diagnose you. You can only have a possibility. You have to be diagnosed by exam. And nobody has 5 herniated discs unless you, I don't know how you'd get that.
Well,
that's just impossible.
Well, I've fallen off a roof. I've worked for big major brown companies. I don't know if there's the brown companies out there for about 20 years.
Well, look, that's immaterial. You should be examined. We don't even use MRIs. I never get an MRI. We have a special film we do for this. But you'll be examined. We'll tell you where your pain is and why it is and what we can do for it.
Well, how can I get in touch with you off the air? Or,
well, just call in tomorrow at 561-381-5800.
Thank you very much, Dr. Spinoza.
All right. Thank you for calling.
Thank you
Appreciate
so
it.
much, my friend. I hope you feel better well, I know you'll feel better when you see him. Okay. Okay, now, Doc, we were talking about what happens with these kids that go in for these physical exams. We know we can't protect them from pain.
Well, can't from getting injured.
Right.
But you, all the kids should be examined before they play. That means ankles, knees, hips, back aches, and it's the spine, shoulders, and neck. All of it should be examined. But you have to know how to do it.
And
one of my problems with autism is that no one examines the neck.
Really?
I mean, ask me about this a couple of minutes, but I mean it's tragic.
Oh, talk to me about autism.
People are making these diagnoses and they're not. They're impressions, and the impressions are a lot of times wrong. The reason these autistic kids can't have eye contact is can't move their neck. That's the reason. But if you treat necks, you know that. And I know that, and we did a study on autism, and
really, wow,
and I had 33 kids, and they all improved on the neck treatment. They all had pain in the neck.
Now, you could cure a lot of the symptoms, but is autism
No,
curable?
autism. It's I just alluded to that.
Yeah.
It's an impression. It's not a
Right.
diagnosis.
Okay.
You can't. There's no test to give them
I
to say
understand.
this is a diagnosis. There is none. It's an impression of the examiner, and you got to be careful who examines.
Yeah, I could see
I mean,
that.
they have people who don't treat anything, examining it and making a diagnosis like that. That's the reason the numbers go up. You read that all the time, and I just shake my head. I mean, there are not that many kids out there, and they all have headache. They all have injuries, and they're not being picked up. I mean, it's a tragic situation. There's a lot of pain involved, a lot of money involved. I mean, it's just bad news.
Well, we got somebody else now just from, I guess we're getting people that are listening to us in
Did we finish up on the coach?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Yes, we did. Unless there's other things you want to talk about. I mean,
Well, all these things are treatable, and they're treatable without shots or anything if they get young enough.
oh, really?
Yeah, you have to be able to pick it up and know where the pain is from, which we know. That's my background. I've treated pain for 45 or more years.
More than
How many
that.
is that? I can't
I
count
think it's
them.
50 years, and you got now. Just to let you know, everybody, the count now is 78,000 people. So we have to change our promo.
72.
70. I'm sorry, 72. Look how honest this guy is. I mean, okay. Well, we haven't counted the other ones that you're treating.
Yeah, well.
Okay. So I guess the most important thing is diagnosis. That's
Yeah,
the key to
diagnosis
everything.
is everything. If you don't get a proper diagnosis, you cannot get treated. And people say, what's a proper diagnosis? David told me I had sciatica. Well, that's not a diagnosis. Diagnosis is structural. It's a bone level for the lower back, and especially between the shoulder blades. You really have to know. By the way, we have terrific techniques for that. I mean, they just
Really?
absolute are first class. And people walk out of there with between the shoulder blades pain, and we knock them out that day.
And there's certain times you won't even tell
And
someone they
don't-
need a shot.
They don't come back. Yeah. But that's the ones that need it. That's what we recommend. If you don't need it, we're not going to do it.
No, that's amazing. Amazing. We have a call from someone out of Elizabeth from Pennsylvania. She says, every case you run across with back pain, is it always treated the same?
No,
Because there are different parts of the back.
everything's an individual for the patient. That's why you can't use MRIs. That's one of the reasons. The biggest reason is the person who's reading that doesn't treat that.
That's correct.
I mean, he doesn't have the ins and outs of those who's treating it. So they're doing the best they can. I'm sure they're honest in their opinions, but the expertise you want, like I said before, that's hard to find. And once you find it, take advantage of it. And I'm giving it to you now. But did I cover that? What was I talking
Yeah,
about?
no, that every case is different with the back.
Yeah,
That
everybody with a pain has a different source,
a different diagnosis.
different diagnosis, a different physiology of pain production, I call it. And the regular physiology is the motion you make without a pain, backwards, forwards, you can do anything. We know about the physiology of motion, but I talk about physiology of pain production. In other words, where is that structure that's not working right and is a pain? So if you know how to diagnose that, then it's easily treated.
Which is amazing because a lot of people, I just want you to know out there, since I've been with the doctor for quite a long time, you do your own, you do the diagnosis, you make sure that you read the x-rays yourself, you know everything that's going on. Why have some doctors, they don't do, they have a technician does everything else, then they hand it to the doctor?
Well, I would say that they just don't have the in-depth knowledge they should have. I mean, they have to do more, I think.
Well, we just got another thing from our chat box, which is perfect what we're saying. Mike is saying from Boca, so doctors have Band-Aids for pain. With you, I'm cured, and I don't come back?
That's right. You don't come back.
Well,
Yeah, people always ask me that. When do I come back? I said, you don't come back unless you have a pain. If
Unless you have another pain.
You have something to treat, well, come back. Otherwise, you're good.
hey, Freddie, it's amazing he can make a living. No one ever comes back. Now we have Sarah from New Orleans. Everyone keeps sending us in things. Everyone's interested in what you do. She says, I've had operations on my back, and and understand how the scar tissue has turned my spine into a nest. How would you treat my condition, and how long will it take? Plus, will it ever come back?
Well, the problem that you're having there, I don't have the age of this person.
No, she
but,
doesn't give the age.
But scar tissue from the surgical intervention is rather tough, especially when you have a curvature like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we decide where the main problem is of that day. Now remember, these things change as you
Right.
cure them.
Right.
It's a different spot. Anyway, in this particular instance, we'd have to use an injection on that, and we'd use something to dissolve connective tissue,
Mm-hmm.
which is non-toxic. No problems with the drug at all. But you have to select the place that it is, and then you put it in there. Because how would you get it? How would you put medicine in this one little place? They're only this big,
That's amazing.
very small, and they produce all this pain. And the pain is true, and it's also true that the areas bothering you are that small, they're very small. Anyway, how do you get medication in there if you want instant relief, which is what I'm after?
Right.
See, that's what I'm offering you. I'm after you instant relief there. That's why you can walk out of the office without the pain you walked into. So we have to be able to do that, and we do that every day. And it doesn't revert either. Once you get relief from that, you get a turn of the bone, and it stays that way. So now you're looking for the next place, and pretty soon that S goes away. And you're
Wow.
going to grow like Freddie did.
So all you short people out there, come to see Dr. Pinozo. And most insurance companies accept what you do.
Yeah, most of them, except there's a couple of them that are really nasty. I mean,
Yeah,
they
there
have
are. Oh, yeah.
HMOs, and people aren't getting served properly. You have to, you're a human being. You have to be able to change your mind, go somewhere else if you're not satisfied with what you have. But when you have an HMO, you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Coventry is one. They want to approve everything you do. I can't work with them. I do everything right then and there. I'm not going to ask for approval. What do those people know?
You're right.
I mean,
You're right.
people, you got to understand these things. I mean, it's terrible.
I mean, to me, and, I've been around the block a little, and I don't care what it would cost. I don't care if I had to hock my golf clubs. If I'm in pain, I want to be relieved from pain and never have that pain again.
Well, what gives the insurance company the right to determine what I do? And
you
then
know,
they're telling you it's 2 to 3 weeks to wait. I mean, that's incredible. I don't treat human beings like that. When you
No.
have a pain and you're in my office, I'm going to take that pain out now.
and I've
if
seen
I
that.
can.
I've seen that. And look, 72,000 people, I want to make sure I got that right, and growing, have been cured. I mean, we're going to, I'll be doing something down in the PGA in a couple of weeks, and we're very excited. We'll tell you, if you want to send in your questions, you want to come down and visit Dr. Pinozo.
I'm excited because Leah's going to be
And Leah's going to be there, right? All you people that listen to 94.3, remember, Leah will be there from the Love Doctors.
We don't know when it is, though.
It'll be probably in about 3 weeks. My producer and I want to do this so you could really meet and talk to you and really understand what this man does.
We have a great golf program.
Oh, God, yes.
The professional teachers talk about changing your swing to accommodate. No, we take care of the pain so you don't have to accommodate your swing.
Explain
Swing
that
should
to
be
us.
natural.
Right.
I mean, if you look at a 12-year-old, that's a natural swing.
Right.
I'm amazed at these people all the time. 16-year-old girls. I mean,
Hey,
so what happens to them? Well, they get injured, and the pain. We talked about this before. The pain inhibition. So your body will eliminate the pain as you use your parts.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're swinging, you have a pain in the knee or between the shoulder blades, it's going to eliminate that swing. And then you don't have it. You don't have the distance. You don't have the accuracy.
So you know what?
So no matter how you change your swing, you're never going to get that back. The swing should be natural. You have to go back to the natural swing, which is pain, no pain, and it goes like clockwork.
So we're challenging all you instructors out there that you could really make all of your clients so much more happier because you teach the art of golf. Dr. Pinozo teaches.
The science of the golf swing, yeah.
Can you imagine science and art together, what a golfer
Actually,
could do?
people that show success will take more lessons.
Yes, of course.
I mean, I remember myself when I was taking lessons when I was young and in my 20s and 30s. I got so frustrated because I never improved. No one helped me, so I didn't take any more lessons.
It is a very difficult sport. Right, Freddie?
Yeah, so you want to keep it as natural as you can.
Right.
Don't inhibit the person with the pain or with changing the swing. You've got to get rid of the pain. The swing goes to normal. Then they can learn how to hit.
Well, we're going to be talking a lot about golf in the next couple of weeks, Doc,
Yeah,
and get all these people ready for that show.
But the word's getting out. I get a lot of golfers in there.
Yeah.
We haven't hit the PGA players yet, but we will eventually.
You know,
This is new stuff, though. I mean, none of it's published.
things
They're
work
not-
out for a reason. I mean, they're going to find out.
In fact, we tried to publish an article in the Golf Digest. I don't know whatever happened to that.
Oh, well, you know what? It's people have to understand that what you do.
Well, they have no concept. And,
Exactly
and they,
right.
And they don't follow up. They're not smart enough to follow up and say, maybe there's something new. You know, let's fly you down here, talk about this. No, they don't. They don't do anything. They just don't respond. Hey, they're happier doing what they do.
And you can see a lot of the older golfers are in pain. I mean, you could see
they-
Freddie Couples. He's been having back pain for the last
I know. He went
last
to
10 years.
He went to Europe, but they don't have the secret over there. I do.
The secret.
He should
So,
have come to me.
Mr. Couples, if anyone knows you, or I wish I did because I happen to like you a lot. I love watching you play. You're one of the greatest golfers of your time. And you know what? For everyone out there who's a golfer, when you have a chance, call up Dr. Pinozzo at
Well,
561
what they end
381
up doing is
5800.
buying a new club, which is not going to help.
Yeah,
them.
well, we
it's still
discovered
the same
that.
swing.
Yeah.
The clubs haven't changed that much.
You know, there was an old saying that my instructor told me. He said, "It's not the bow and arrow." I forgot what he told me. Would you believe this phrase? It just went out. It's not the bow. It's not the bow and arrow. It's the archer. So you could buy as many golf clubs as you want. You're the golfer. If it doesn't, it's not the clubs that are going to make you hit a ball 300 yards.
Right, right.
It's the way your body moves in
Yeah, and
sync.
once it moves correctly, now you can learn the art of golf, which is really complicated.
Yeah. Yes, it is. We got two golfers here that still can't play the game. Before we leave, folks, I want to get to Earl's question. He was nice enough to send it in by chat box. My knee constantly hurts, and my left hip is just as bad. I work construction and have been told by doctors to take aspirin because nothing can be done. Please tell me, can something be done? Well,
Yeah, well, of course.
his doctor keeps telling him the pain just for your hips and your
Well,
knee.
when doctors talk like that, just go somewhere else. Don't argue with them.
That could be him right now on the phone, Doc. We're going to have to take that call after we get off the air. Again, folks, Dr. Pinozzo gets off the air in about 5 minutes, and he'll probably answer every one of your calls. So let me give Dr. Pinozzo's number again. It's 561-381-5800. You know, I know some people out there might find that what Dr. Pinozzo does is impossible, but we've seen it. I mean, when we go and we film people, we are so amazed on what you've done for people.
Well, I had to convince you, didn't I?
Yeah, you had to convince me. I mean, I was a skeptic.
He's a very skeptical guy, and rightly so, should
Yeah.
be. And Freddie also. We've had to show both of them. And
Yeah.
they'll become believers.
I mean, I saw it with my own eyes. I said to Freddie, Freddie, I don't want to waste your time, but let's go in to see the guy, he said. And we were, folks, I sometimes come to tears when I see young people being cured by this man without having to go in for surgery. I mean, we're not trying to sell anything. Believe me, we don't have to. I'm just trying to tell you that this man has changed lives.
We're trying to say, seek knowledge out. If you hear something that's very good, what does it cost you to have an examination? Usually insurance will pay for that anyway. But you gain knowledge, you gain an insight. And that's what you need to do.
It's your body, folks.
When I buy something or I have a service, I investigate the whole area. I find out what I'm getting into. Do they know more than I do? Many times I know more than they do, but I hire them anyway because they do that kind of work. So that's why you have to think and take it seriously. Your body, is all you got.
You know, your golf clubs won't last, but your body, you need to make it last.
Yeah. And that means even construction workers.
Oh,
like
yeah,
this
that's
guy
how they
here.
make their money. I mean, my God.
People get fixed. I mean, you don't need surgery for everything.
Now, and I know you well enough that I've seen there when you've actually told people that what you have, it's going to take a while to fix because you're going to have a different. And I can't help this woman, 69 years old. That to me was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen in my life. How he took a woman from one of the most prestigious hospitals in England, and he's cured her with no surgery.
Yep.
I mean, that's something you should be proud of, Doc. I mean, you know,
She's half cured. She's coming back for the other half.
now let's look at when you look in the mirror every morning. You should be very proud of yourself what you've done. I really mean that.
Yeah, well, I am.
I have a guy here that couldn't walk, and now he's walking, carrying hundreds of pounds of equipment on his back, playing golf, and he's an inch and a half taller. I mean, come on.
I think he's more than that. I think, to me, it was like 3 inches.
Well, if he catches up to me, Doc, you're gonna have to give me a couple of shots because I don't want this little Italian guy catching up to me. Folks, it's been one of those a great day. So happy again. Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. And we'll be leaving in a couple of minutes. I just want to let everyone know. Call up Dr. Pinozzo at 561-381-5800. And again, I know it's going to sound stupid, but your second opinion should be your first. Before you go in for surgery, you go under the knife and have to be on drugs for a long time, it behooves you to just go in and see the man. Talk to him.
True.
Doesn't cost you anything to see Dr. Pinozzo.
Another opinion will not hurt you.
And you do that all the time.
Right.
And if you
What I don't like is when people go to a doctor and then they decrease the care by going to a therapist or a chiropractor.
Mm-hmm.
If the doctor can't take care of it, what makes you think somebody else can? I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me anyway. But go to another doctor who actually treats this thing. You can ask on the phone, do you actually treat backache? What is your percentage of improvement? Ours is 99%, 98%.
You can't get better.
You
than
can't get
98.
out of the office with the same pain, so that's 100%.
I mean, I was there when the guy came in. You know, all these stories I see. I mean, you have to sit in this man's office to see what goes on. He couldn't straighten up. It was an older guy, and he couldn't straighten up. He went in. I sat there, and I waited out, and the guy came in. He was walking. He said, "Oh, Doc, where were you 20 years ago?" And Doctor said, "I was up in Ohio, practicing my craft."
Yeah.
So again, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Happy Mother's Day to everyone. Freddie, again, a great job as always. Doc, you're great. 561-381-5800. Call Dr. Pinozzo and relieve all your pain.
This has been the Dr.